하나, 둘, 셋.
안녕하세요. 대장 다시 잠깐만. 한번 다시 할게요. One more time.
Okay. 하나, 둘, 셋.
안녕하세요. 대장문외과 의사 아름다운 청춘 대장장인 한인대입니다. 오늘 제 옆에 있는 분은 우리나라 사람이 아닙니다. 우리나라 사람이 아니고 싱가포르 분인데 싱가포르에서 저와 함께 저희 세브란스 병원에서의 많은 배움을 위하여 8개월 정도 와 있었던 친구고 이제 8개월간의 교육을 마치고 돌아갑니다. 이 친구도 대장문외과 의사고 많은 수술을 저희 옆에서 같이 돕고 보고 배웠던 친구입니다. 그래서 뭐 저희 병원 사람들과 많이 알게 됐고 많이 배웠고 또 병원 간의 교류도 앞으로 있을 예정이기도 하고 이 친구가 이제 제 밑에서 제 밑에 소속으로 많은 뭐 배움을 배우고 가니까 얼떨결에 제가 뭐 스승 아닌 스승처럼 되어 있는데 이 친구랑 이제 마지막을 함께 이야기를 해보기 위해서 이 자리에 제가 모셨습니다. 이제부터 질문. 이 친구가 이제 한국말을 못하죠. He can't speak Korean well. So, will you introduce yourself? Because you can't speak in Korean, so you should speak in English. Okay.
안녕하세요. Hi, I'm Aloysius. I'm a colorectal surgeon and I'm working in Tan Hospital in Singapore. So I'm currently doing an 8-month fellowship attachment at Severance Hospital with Professor Han Yoon. And Singapore doctors often apply for an overseas training program after completing our local training in Singapore. We do this to gain more experience and learn new things from foreign healthcare systems.
Okay, wow, good, great. So I want to ask you, why did you choose Korea for your more learning?
Yeah, so one of the obvious choices is Singapore. Korea is famous for performing. Korea is famous for performing minimally invasive surgery, and actually many Singaporeans have come here from different specialties also to Korea to do their fellowship in different hospitals. This includes my head of service in my hospital also, who is Professor Han, who also came to Severance Hospital many years ago for his fellowship.
Yeah, Professor Ka-yong, right?
Yes. So besides learning from Professor Han, also one of the main reasons why Singaporeans come to Korea is also very high volume centers. So famous tertiary hospital like Severance in Korea, many patients will come all the way to Seoul for treatment, and this volume of surgery is very important for us and extremely good for us to watch and participate in so many operations daily.
Will you describe your experience in Korea?
Yeah, so I started my training in Severance Hospital with Severance International Fellowship Prime Course for foreign fellows to do a hands-on fellowship in Korea. So after completing the course, I was fortunate enough to be attached to a colorectal department under Professor Han. So I spent my time mostly in the operating theatre with the colorectal team, participating in surgeries daily. And even when Prof Han, on days that he's not operating, I've been given the opportunity to join some of the other colorectal professors to learn from them too. I've had an excellent time here learning so many new tips and tricks from the different experienced surgeons here.
그쵸. 뭐 우리 선생님들이 많이 계시니까 다양한 것도 저 없을 때도 많이 봤겠죠. Alright, yeah. So, what are some differences in the healthcare systems between Korea and Singapore?
I think there are many differences, but we are both developed countries. A few of the differences that we have are mainly healthcare cost differences, geographical, logistical, and lastly even cultural issues as well. So firstly and most obvious in terms of healthcare costs, which Korea has a national health insurance system that everybody is in.
Yeah.
Singapore, we also have a healthcare system, but it's more of a subsidy system, so it's a co-payment. And this is dependent on like the type of class of ward that you choose, like whether subsidized is the cheapest one, followed by a private class which is fully paid by you. And on top of that, it's also supported by a compulsory savings scheme for all residents. Yeah, so you're forced to put a portion of your salary into a savings, what we call the Central Provident Fund, CPF, to save for your MediSave account. Yeah. So for an example, if you choose the cheapest class, which is the subsidized class in Singapore, you can get up to 80% subsidy. But you have to share a ward room with maybe like 4 to 6 patients.
However, you just pay 20%.
Yes, and this 20% can also be contributed from your compulsory savings that I mentioned earlier. So the cash that you use may not even be much.
So actually you don't have to pay for
you
it.
may not need, depending on how much you have in your So in a way, it reduces your cost for payment as well, and that's why the government has this savings.
Okay.
Yeah. And in terms of logistical and geographical differences, one of the big differences obviously is because Singapore is so small. Yeah, so
규모의 경제 문제가 있죠.
our patients can go home very early.
Yeah, I've heard that it's like 30 minutes from your hospital to home, right? Mostly.
Yeah, most patients are within 30 minutes. Our hospital is in the middle of Singapore. Yeah, so if they can go home earlier, then we're not afraid that they can come back if they have any problems as well.
Right,
so
right.
our discharging pattern is different from what I observe here as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of some cost differences.
여기 진짜 웃기긴 하다. 여기 싱가포르는 조그맣잖아요. 그러니까 30분 안에 다 오니까 어차피 거리 집에 빨리 보내도 죽을 것 같아도 죽지 않아. 30분 안에 병원에 올 수 있으니까 어디든.
So for example, a simple appendicitis operation can cost as little as under $2,000 if you are a subsidized patient. And if you are a private patient in a private ward, it can go up to $7,000.
Is it because of your hospital utility things, such as your room or stuff? Or?
Yes, so mainly it's the room, because in the private ward, you are alone in the room, you have your own room.
That's right,
so,
that's right.
So it's space as well.
It's pretty bit same here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as I mentioned earlier, and for these amounts, you can also use your MediSave to pay some of it as well.
They pay for you in the MediSave.
Yes, they can use their MediSave, the compulsory savings, to help to pay your medical bills.
Okay.
But for private insurance, many Singaporeans also buy their own insurance to cover the upgrade to private hospitals as well.
All right, let's talk about something else. So, what was the most enjoyable thing that you did in Korea so far?
I mean, besides in hospital, other things that I like in Korea, of course, the weather, the food, and the many mountains.
Mountain.
Yeah, so Singapore is a tropical country, and our weather is mainly like what it's like in July in Seoul, but it's just for 12 months.
For 12 months.
Yeah, for 12 months. It's hot and it's
10월달
raining.
Is it too hot?
It's hot and
okay,
raining.
okay.
Yeah.
7월에 좀 okay. And
So-
also raining.
Yeah, so it's very nice to experience like changes in the weather, the different seasons, but it's all generally cooler than in Singapore.
Generally it's cooler.
Yeah, so Singaporeans also generally love all sorts of Korean food, and after coming here, I realized that it tastes much better when you have it here than if you eat Korean food
아니 그
in
얘기하더라고요.
Singapore.
한국 식당 싱가포르에 있는 한국 식당은 you said that the Korean restaurant in Singapore is too hot and too spicy.
Yes,
and
sometimes it's a little too spicy compared to the food.
그건 너무 맵게 하고 막 이랬는데 한국에서 먹는 한국 식당이 훨씬 맛있다라고 하더라고요. 아까 그 산두, mountain, keep saying it.
So lastly, the mountains and the hiking trails here are beautiful. Many of the mountains, one of my favorite is of course Halasan in Jeju. But
That was the best?
that was
Halasan?
the best for hiking.
Uh-huh.
But in so many of the mountains, one of my favorite things to do is to hike up, and there'll be people selling makgeolli.
막걸리.
Makgeolli, and then you can drink the makgeolli and at the top of the mountain.
The top of the mountain.
Yeah, and that's
Just like
one of the best experiences.
아니 나는 얘가 주말마다 산을 가는 거야 하이킹. 그래서 왜 이렇게 맨날 산만 가나 했더니 싱가포르에 산이 없대네요. 그래서 산에 가보고 싶었대. 하이킹을 해보고 싶었대. Okay, thank you for your interview here, and also actually 언박싱을 좀 할 건데 여기 누가 주고 갔다 그래서 교실에서 비서에게 뭘 줬나 했더니 This is a present from you, right?
Yes.
얘 몰랐어요. 얘가 주고 간 건지. So this is 바차 coffee.
Yes.
Could you explain this 바차 coffee?
This is it's one of the big coffee companies in Singapore. They sell drip coffee, and they do packaging very nice, and they are very nice coffee as well, drip coffee type. So
I think I've got this from before. 이거 어떻게 해요?
you can just slide it off.
이렇게 빼야 되겠다. 한번 좀 이거.
Somebody gave this to me before.
Yeah, actually, 내가 또 우리 또 싱가포르에서 오는 친구들 또 다.
It's like a
Ooh.
a mix of coffee.
오, 바차 커피.
최근에 한국 사람이 싱가포르 가면 다 그거 사와요.
아, 그래요? Thank you. Thank you very much for this coffee. 그리고 이건 뭐야? What's this?
Kaya.
아, 카야. 카야 잼.
Kaya jam.
카야 잼. 아, 카야 잼. 감사합니다. 아, 또 이제 가시기 전에 유통기한 제대로 되나 볼까? 2026년까지 유통기한은 제대로 됐고. 아, 그래서 저희 원래 잘 끝나고 가면 서티피케이트를 줍니다. 서티피케이트를 주는데 이렇게 서티피케이트이 있어요. 짜잔, 서티피케이트이 있는데 이거를 이제 원래 제가 오늘 주려고 했었던 거라 제가 사인을 하고 주도록 하겠습니다. 자,
Yay.
this is a certificate for you.
Yes, thank you.
예.
Thank you.
예. 많이 고생한 우리 알로에서 탄, 그동안 고생 많이 했고, 여기서 또 많은 걸 배워갔으면 좋겠고, 앞으로 또 싱가포르 가서도 좋은 의사가 됐으면 좋겠고, hope you enjoyed your life in here, Korea, and also other surgical experiences in our hospital. And surely we'll expect that we're going to keep in touch with each other. So.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I also thank you for helping me for a lot of things. So, please, have a safe trip back to your country and keep on your work. And let's see sometime later.
Of course, definitely, bro. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
Yeah, bye bye. 자, 오늘은 여기까지 이렇게 하도록 하겠습니다.